Hey guys, and welcome to Girls Frontline 2, and we do have a complete skill preview for Helen, and let's check her out. She is actually the first, I think, bulwark for the Frost team, or the Freeze team, and let's see what her kit overall does. Let's skip the effects as a summary here, because most of the skills have their own bookmarks. So let's go to her skill. So skill is basically Sentinel. So basic attack targeted. Your regular one. The range is at 6 tiles in terms of distance. So that is, I think, your regular one, especially for a shotgun. Then you have Aegis Command. This is an active buff and damage share. As expected, this is similar to Andoris kit, which she actually shares part of the damage, or in this case, 100% of the initial damage. So selects an ally excluding self within a 6 tile radius and applies Aegis on it. The unit with Aegis takes damage within 6 tiles from Helen. So they have to be within proximity of her of 6 tiles. She will share 100% of initial damage on her behalf, as well as dispelling taunt and fear. Aegis can only be applied to one target after skill gains extra command. So technically, from what I see, you can spam this as soon as this is available. So again, any of the dolls that needs a lot of protection, you could actually accompany with Helen at so Aegis is if a unit with Aegis takes damage, so that's 100%. Fear and Taunt, those are basic debuffs that we usually get. For her upgrade, this one, for Vertebrae 4, additionally removes Infatuated and Stun. If fatal damage is taken while sharing damage, Helen will not die and will recover HP equal to 150% of her defense. So if you encounter probably a boss that can do a one-hit wonder in terms of damage, this would be a good skill to accompany with that specific character. So this effect can be triggered once per round. Friendly units with Aegis deal 30 more freeze damage. So at V4, there is a buff already for freeze damage. So this is actually a nice add-on, but this is at V4. So let's check out her other skills. So the next one is going to be her S2, which is Shield Charge, active, buff, tile, and defense as well. This one, I feel, is a bit tricky to use because they have to be in a line to be affected. We'll go to the skill. So selects one tile within a cross-shaped area of 4 to 8 tiles and lands on the selected tile. All allied units along the path will have one debuff dispelled and gain Frost Shield. It absorbs 100% of Helen's initial attack damage up to a maximum of 100 of target's maximum health. Generates frost tiles on the path for 2 turns. For each allied unit excluding self on the path, the effectiveness of the Frost Shield is increased by 30 and restores 2 points of stability to Helen. After skill usage, Helen gains 6 tiles of additional movement and can use her basic attack. So this is a nice skill. A lot of things happening in this skill, but again, going back to how she is going to be, dishing this out as a buff, it's very tricky for everybody to be in a line, really, especially if you want them to be far apart. This makes them closer, which probably could be useful for Gunsmoke bosses, because usually for Gunsmoke you're just together. But anyway, let's see how the application of this is going to fare. So at Vertebrae 1 upgrade, increase width by 2 tiles, dispels 2 additional buffs and applies increase width by 2 tiles, so this becomes 3. So dispels 2 additional debuffs and applies critical damage up for 2 turns. This is probably a must upgrade, because one thin tile is not enough. I think you should allow 3 tiles parallel to each other for this skill to work. And upgrade 5 Vertebrae for each allied unit excluding self in the path. The additional point stability is restored. The corresponding number of layers of Frost Drive are gained. So Frost Drive is for each layer of this effect, freeze damage dealt increased by 20% up to 60. Considered a buff, cannot be dispelled. Okay, so there's a buff as well for this. And again, this is kind of high. This is at Vertebrae 5. I think V1 is going to be a must-have if you're going to be getting her. So let's go to the ultimate. Banner Sentinel. Selects an ally excluding self with a 6 town radius and applies attack up 3 and defense up 2 for 2 turns. Okay, only one ally is affected. In addition, reduces ultimate cooldown of all freeze attribute dolls excluding self on the field by 1 turn. No, it's for all. Selects one for the buff, but the cooldown for the freeze attributed dolls is for the in addition, okay, it's for the whole area, I think. So by 1 turn after skill usage, Helen gains additional command. This is actually a nice skill to have. So select one, and probably within that selection there's an AoE around that selection that, you know, accompanies the other dolls. This is nice. At Vertebrae 3, cooldown is reduced by 2, gain attack up and defense up for 2 turns. Gains 10 stacks of over edge, reduces ultimate cooldown of freeze attributed dolls by 2 turns. My god, this is nice. This is nice. If this is going to be 2 turns at Vertebrae 3, could be part of, I think, from 1, 2, and 3 to get. So, over edge, for each stack of this effect, possessed, crit rate, and freeze damage dealt from basic attacks is increased by 10%. This can be stacked and is consumed after performing an attack. She not only is a bulwark, she does have a lot of buffs and a lot of add-ons for her kit. I actually like her already. I wonder how she compares with Alva in terms of being a support. So last one is going to be Fearless Valkyrie. This one is a passive. Helen is immune to healing reduction but cannot receive healing or effects that prevent healing into that convert healing into damage. So she cannot be healed, but I think she heals herself. At the start of the battle, increase Helen's defense and max HP by 30%. At the start of each turn, Helen gains 2 Confectance Index, restores 25% of HP, and dispels all debuffs from herself. So she does have her own maintenance for debuffs and HP. So you don't have to worry about her. For every instance of damage taken, Helen gains 1 stack of over edge. When Helen has over edge, the damage multiplier of her basic attack is increased to 180. Okay, before Helen performs a basic attack, her attack is increased by 15% of her defense. Kinda okay. At level 2, at Vertebrae 2, increases the stability gauge to 16 points, reducing damage taken by 50 each time you take damage. You gain an additional stack of over edge before performing a basic attack. Increase your attack power by 30 of your defense. I think you should go to Vertebrae 3. 1, 2, and 3 are kind of basic to her skill, basic upgrades. The rest is really up to you. I'd say Vertebrae 3, 1, 2, 3. Vertebrae 6, before performing a basic attack, increase Helen's attack by 70% of her defense. She does her attack with her basic attack mostly. It prioritizes it, but you don't have to attack if she's dishing out a lot of help to her teammates. I don't think you would need to attack. So again, Vertebrae 3 is a good stopping point, which is this one. So again, just to recap, upgrade 1, increase the width, which gives critical damage up for 2 turns. This one gives over edge, and 3 is actually one of the best upgrades she has. Cooldown is reduced by 2 turns. Attack 3, defense up 3 for 2 turns. Gain 10 stacks of over edge. Reduce ultimate cooldown of freeze attributed dolls by 2 turns. Again, 3 is actually very obvious that you should get there. Then that is it for her fixed keys. So this one is nice. Fixed key 1. she gets immediate 3 stacks of Orb over Edge. When performing basic attacks against boss units, freeze damage is dealt increased by 20%. I don't think she'll be attacking much. She'll be putting out a lot of help for her, for her teammates. Before performing a basic attack, dispel 2 buff on the target enemy. This is nice. This is a very good utility, by the way, which most of or some of the support class or in a support role has. At the end of Helen's action, applies 2 stacks of shelter to herself and all allied units with Aegis. This is an additional protection for other teammates. At the start of the turn, if Helen's HP is above 30, she gains Glory to Mommies, preventing her defense from being reduced below less than 100%. Cancels when Helen's HP is below 30. Prevents Holder defense from being reduced below 100. Cancels when Holder's HP falls below 30. Cannot be dispelled. Okay. This is situational, I think. Because unless if there's an effect that lowers her defense. Okay. Anyway, next one is reduced ability damage taken by 2 and grants immunity to stun and fear. Probably the top 3 that I would say is good. Top 4 because you'd have options. So this one, fixed key 5, fixed key 4. I'm sorry, fixed key 5, fixed key 3, fixed key 1, and fixed key 4. Those are it. Depending on, I think the must-have here is this one, fixed key 1, and no, this is situational depending on the boss. Probably go with these 2 here. Then you add fixed key 3 just in case you're using her for a boss. And her common key, immovable defense, is a plus 5%. If the user's defense is greater than or equal to the target's defense, their damage dealt is increased by 10%. Interesting. I think this is really for her. Okay, for her gun. Okay, so this one is a must for the recommended key. For her gun, we'll go with her own weapon, Silent Aegis. Physical damage taken is reduced by 8, which I don't think she needs much. User defense is increased by 15, with 1 copy. Damage dealt from basic attack is increased by, okay, this is similar to kinda Michti's gun, which prioritizes basic attacks. I don't think you need this. I don't think you need this gun unless if you want the extra defense from this gun. Probably yes, but I don't think it's a must-have at this point. So we do have a lot of options for shotgun, and again, it's really up to you guys if you want to get her gun. But I don't think it's a recommended to get it at some point. I would rather have you guys, take her to at least V3 to maximize her basic skills. And I think she would be a very, very nice support to have for the Frost team. I thought her kit was like Andoris-like, wherein there is going to be HP share, but there is more to her kit than Andoris. So again, I think she's a must-have for the Freeze team at this point. So what do you think of her kit, guys? Again, for me, I think she's a must-pull. Take care, stay safe. This is the Warden, and I'm out of here.